Hey guys, Jay here. So I want to make a video on quick update on the John Wick with a stick character. I've made a couple of decision change from yesterday, and I think right now the build feels even more comfortable than it used to be. Well, right now with the level 53 setup, I am removing mana problem by going to blood magic. I am changing the main skill I'm using to Whirling Assault, which basically is, I think, a much more comfortable skill for just overall playstyle. First of all, if you want to play with this skill, I want to quickly mention that you do not trust the tooltip that you see on the skill in here. Do not trust this tooltip. Why? If you take a look at it, the tooltip of the quarterstaff strike, which is a normal attack for the staff, is like 6k or something, which is just a like 3 times more than the Whirling Assault that we are having here. However, I think it probably is there is a bug in the calculation of the Whirling Assault, which consider the skill to only hit once per attack or something like that, because this skill I hit multiple times per attack. So let me actually drop a bell here and I'll show you how many times it actually hits, because the bell, with the bell we can kind of calculate the number of hits that we are dealing. Let me just clear everything here first, just to yeah, make sure. Alright, so if we put down the belt, right? Once, two, yeah, so not even 2, it's like 1.5 attack of Rolling Assault. It's already deleting the belt. And the belt right now for me is 16 hits. So I would say one use of Whirling Assault is somewhere around like 9 to 10 hits overall. So the total damage is probably, the true DPS number is probably like 10 times this amount, 9 to 10 times, I don't know, but what matter really is, you know, what actually is the performance in the game, right? So if you fight a boss, if you fight monster, you will see the actual amount of damage. So don't worry about the tooltip, that doesn't really matter. Sure, it doesn't show you the correct number, so you don't really know on, you know, how much you are actually getting. Well, hey, here is the boss. Let's actually see how much damage we are looking at. So put down the bell. Okay, that move is pretty dangerous, and here is the damage. Anyway, I have the second ascendancy point right now. If I do not have this, I'll probably be dead. Right now I don't have a lot of resistances, only 4% fire, so that hurts like a bitch. But anyway, thanks to the massive amount of life that I'm having, I actually could survive that, even though I did not pay enough attention and moved out of the way like 1 second slower than I should be. Anyway, the playstyle is just simple. Whirling Assault, put belt on bosses. This stack up combo extremely fast as well, because it hits so many times. So you can put the belt down, you can destroy the belt, you could just whirling another time, you can put another belt down. So it's just the whole cycle for doing bosses. This boss is not particularly tanky, but it's still a boss, and as you can see, I pretty much just destroy it in 1 bell, 2 Whirling Assault. That's about it. So the damage is good. The tankiness is going to be very, very good, because the sheer amount of life that we are having is incredible. We are having the double the amount of life that normally another character can like achieve. And then eventually with later gear that is going to the end game, I will probably upgrade my gear. Getting resistances is going to be the priority. And obviously I am going to try and get more armor as well. We are going to head into the end game, so obviously we are going to have better bases, better armor overall. I will prioritize armor over life. So anyway, let's get into the... Before I get into the actual build guide, I will just show you the current skill tree on level 53 here. I am going down here. I am getting the polymathy. I am getting this stuff just recently because yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not seeing any difference really. Maybe I would just spec out of this one. Maybe we are very close, so we don't need accuracy. Maybe we just spec out of this. If you worry about accuracy, you can just simply get like a resolute technique. It's somewhere around here, very, very close, I think. Yeah, resolute technique. But for now, it's not big of a problem. I would just take it. The point leads to it is just some attack damage, so it's not too bad. Anyway, grab the strength stuff. Strength stuff here. This is one of the first thing I get. And strength stuff here. We go all the way to blood magic. This remove mana, so we don't need to just press an additional button on the mana flask. With this amount of life, the mana cost here is basically nothing. We have regen percentage base, so we just regen fully all the time. For example, if you can see, I use the skill repeatedly here. My life barely drop. And on kill, I have additional 4% recovery on kill with cannibalism here. So, hey, health is no problem. Recovery is good. Maximum life is good. What we need to improve now from this point to the end game is we need to put better gear, better resistances, because that is the only way we can actually fix resistances. Now, there is next to no resistance on the skill tree. I think the only resistance on the skill tree that you can have is actually this point. I will get this point. It's going to be maximum fire rest and then elemental resistances. I think I will get this point. But eventually we will need to just improve resistances from gear. And for now, my gear is still like leveling gear, absolute dog shit. No resist, no resist, no resist, no resist. This have 18, a little bit of lightning resist, which is pretty good. I just got this at level 52. It's actually a very decent piece of gear. I tested out with this one. Mana leech apparently is not good enough to sustain mana, so I decided to just go blood magic. And this one is very good actually. So 40 spirit, strength, and some resistances. But anyway, that is the theme for the gear. Let me just go to the actual website. So I just edited this Mobalytic guide. So here I have like details on, you know, overall stuff of the build. On the gear stuff, I don't have like any specific gear here, but I have a description of what stat you should look for in gear. Long story short, you need a certain amount of spirit. You would probably need to prioritize flat, cold, or lightning, or this is actually physical. Shit, I need to edit. This can be physical damage, but I think cold and lightning, normally the number is higher, so cold and lightning should be better, right? Okay, and then on the other stuff, you want minimum spirit, as I mentioned here, very important. And then you want strength, resistances, 1 mana in each row. I can just remove this one. Move speed on boots, obviously. Then you prioritize armor and maximum life. So with all of these requirements on gear, I think that it is safe to say that we cannot go crit, because with just the crit from a skill tree from my previous version of the build planned, I think we get somewhere around 30% crit only and not that much crit damage as well. So I'll just ditch the whole crit thing. We don't need to go to the other side of the skill tree to get the staff node, because technically those are only crit stuff. Instead, we are going, let's just talk about the skill tree here. We are going to be more focused on this side of the tree. So yeah, other than the stuff that I already got, I will get a bunch of things here. Very nice here, a lot of regen stuff, some area of effect, some armor, some regen, some elemental damage and ailment stuff over here. I think it's pretty nice. These nodes are actually very strong. So yeah, just overall, this tree is now more compact. We remove the whole travel thing here. We remove everything that has to do with crit or crit scaling, because eventually, with the calculation, I realized that the number is not there. So yeah, this tree is going to be here, and also it is going to be in the Mobalytic. The Mobalytic skill tree is a little bit incorrect, so you know, just use this the actual stat in the in-game skill tree to actually know what is the correct number. For example, I think this point, yeah, it doesn't show that it gives 10 strength also. So it is 18% armor and 10 strength and 0.5 regen. So The stat in here might be slightly incorrect. However, the position of the points that I'm going to take is correct, and you can safely follow this one or this one, whichever you prefer. Other than that, this is just very brief introduction of the actual build. On the skill, so for now, the main skill is changing into Whirling Assault, and I have linked Cold Infusion, Ice Bite, Close Combat. These are the three, I think, best skill gem that you can link to Whirling Assault. And then I will link the Primal Ornament, and last is Martial Tempo. This one actually I'm not sure is going to work well with this, because I'm not sure if attack speed is actually scaling with Whirling Assault. It might be just a fixed number of hits for the whole duration, but if it's scaled with attack speed, for example, in the whole duration of the attack, if attack speed scale it, it will hit more time, then if that is the case, it will be good. I'll need to do more testing on this, but I'm not sure entirely. Tempest Bell, for now, I will leave 5 link here in order of importances. I think Rage is hands down the best support gem for this one, because it will ramp up to 30% more damage on both skills, so it's very good. Concentrated Effect, this is just pure single target. Element of Focus, because we don't need to apply elements from the bell. And I think the last one is going to be Execute. Why? Because, well, it's just technically effectively a bunch of more damage. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll find a better support gem, because this is technically like around 15-16% more damage overall. Only work when on low life, which means 35% threshold. Not really great, but yeah, if you don't have anything else, put this one in. I am going to try and see if there's any better option, basically. This Voting Impact is just for fun, but mostly the only links that kind of is here is Holy Crescent and Stomping Ground. It trigger a shockwave that actually deals damage based on your strength, so it's a little bit, maybe it helps with clearing sometimes, but mostly for the Holy Descent here, for the Consecrated Ground, for 5% regen and reduced effect of curses on you. I am putting here Splinter and Armor Explosion. I don't think it's going to do that much, because our physical damage is not that high, but still, maybe it will give some explosion. I don't know, I've not even tested with it yet, but yeah, it's just here placeholder pretty much. Hero of Ice is going to be Modified Effect. I think this is the best for Hero of Ice. It improved the area of effect, so yeah, more clear. Cold Mastery probably will improve the damage by a little bit, I'm not sure even. Frost Nexus, so if you freeze the target with this, it will leave like chill ground on just on the ground, so yeah, it's something extra. I don't think we need to go further on Hero of Ice. It's just a support skill for extra clear. And then this is actually very important, Cast on Freeze. This is basically all of our utility combined into one setup. You just trigger it on freeze, mostly important on single target like rare or unique. You will have very consistent of Cast on Freeze. With the recent change, it actually is a overall buff to this character, because you do not spam all this spell all the time anymore. You only actually trigger it mostly on the very important stuff, or once in a while. So what am I linking to Cast on Freeze? It is Frostbomb, Font of Blood. I think these two are the best. They give you exposure, so reduce the enemy resistance with Frostbomb, and Font of Blood gives you extra regen. Hypothermia, a curse that reduces enemy resistance. Strip Away will improve the effect of the Cast on Freeze. And then last but not least, I think Freezing Mark is going to be the last one. Limit one marked target. So in POE2, Mark and Curses are two different things. In POE1, it used to be both considered curse. So enemies can still be marked when they are cursed. So I am going to use Freezing Mark here. It would just make freeze more reliable overall, and just, yeah, freeze the boss, trivialize the mechanic or whatever. I think this is going to be the last one. Before you get like a lot of links here, obviously you can just sacrifice a little bit of exposure here. I think this is like extra 6% reduce resistance, so it's not the end of the world if you don't have it. And then you can just self-cast Freezing Mark with like Arcane Tempo or something. Just on bosses, right? Just on bosses, so it's not too bad. Before that, right now, I don't even use Freezing Mark, even though I don't have it in the setup here. So anyway, this is going to be overall everything that has changed with this build. I think this is way more comfortable. The main change to blood magics is insanely good in terms of quality of life. You don't need to manage mana anymore, especially when you have the trigger setup, which actually costs a lot more mana than the usual when you self-cast. So I am going for a lot of quality of life. I want to make a build that is very comfortable to play. You can play it in a long session, just like POE1, sorry to say that. But I plan to play a lot, so yeah, Whirling Assault right now is in place of the Ice Strike. Ice Strike is still good, but I think Whirling Assault is just straight better overall. More damage. It will freeze a little bit slower on bosses, but it's not the end of the world. Ice Strike convert a bunch of physical damage to ice to cold damage, so it freezes more reliably and faster. But overall, no monster can actually survive, like avoid being frozen. I even have the overwhelming presence in the setup, so normal monster will always just instantly frozen, as you can see there. Yeah, just instantly freeze to death all the time. No problemo. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this build. If you follow it, here is I would say an upgrade. I think overall it's actually a very significant upgrade compared to the setup that I've showed before. This feels much better, much more comfortable. No button press, because most of the time we don't even use the life flask because we recover from regen and from life on kill. And yeah, right now we don't even need to press the mana flask anymore. It feels just very good, very good. And spinning to winning just always got a ring to it. I really enjoyed this build so far, and I enjoy it more and more as I play it, as I improved it. I hope it will be the same for you. So please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this build, and stay tuned for more content. One disclaimer, probably in the upcoming time, the content is going to be slower. I am not going to have as much time as I have this week because I'm going back to work. So yeah, that is 8 hours a day out of the window, so it is what it is. But I would try to, first of all, play as much as possible for my own sake, because after the nerf to the Infernal, the Infernalist, the Auto Bomber, I'm still salty about it, but I cannot deny the fact that I still enjoy the game, because right now I find a build that I actually I enjoy very much. I enjoy the theory crafting, the progression, the result, and you know, all the improvement that I've made so far. It's been a great journey for me personally, and I hope it will bring a good experience to you guys playing the game as well. Enough talking. Once again, massive thanks to everyone who watched my content. If you enjoyed it, please again leave a like and subscribe. It does help the channel greatly. Hopefully someday it will grow to a big enough channel that I can actually just drop work and just become a full-time content creator. That is going to be a dream for the, you know, distant future. But for now, yeah, I'll do with what I can. So, spin to win, it actually exists. It's not the exact spin to win that we kind of like just hold down a button for forever and just spin around. But this, if you hold down a button, it will looks like this. It will looks like this, right? So it looks a little bit more clunky if when you stop a little bit before each spin, right? But technically it's still spin to win. So hey, enough talking. Again, I think I have to say this for the third time already, but thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Peace.